Hi, my name is Roger Rivera, and I joined the Avon 39 Walk to End Breast Cancer. Today, I have a very special person here with me. She traveled all the way from Michigan just to be here. And it wasn't for this in particular. She's actually the grandmother of my nephew, Phoenix. And I'd like to introduce everyone to a very special person. This is Pam. Say hi, Pam.
Hi, guys.
All right, so many of you may know a little bit of information about breast cancer and cancer in general, and I wanted to ask Pam a couple of questions about breast cancer and what she went through, because Pam is not only a breast cancer survivor, she's also a pioneer in a new study of breast cancer, or a new type of therapy that they're doing to eliminate breast cancer, and that's called mammocyte. Um, for those of you who don't know, or those of you who have experienced um, breast cancer or known someone who has gone through that, um, there are a couple of different ways to treat breast cancer. But for the past 30 years, one of the main ways that breast cancer was treated was through outside radiation. So radiation that was done outside of the area where you had developed cancer. Um, and in many ways, it was a little bit of it was painful, and they had to definitely put things in your body, up to 24 catheters in the breast where the area was where they were going to do the radiation. That's how it happened before. With Pam, they did mammocyte, which is a new kind of therapy to focus radiation. So what they're doing is they're giving you a higher dosage of radiation in around the area where you have the cells of cancer. And what that means is you're going to have a surgery, and they're going to put, and correct me if I'm wrong, Pam, they're going to put a balloon in the area where the cancer is most concentrated, and it's going to have a tube leading outside of it. And through that tube is where they're going to plant what they call seeds, which is radiation, and it's going to be in that area of focus, and it's a little more intense. So one of the benefits from this type of um, radiation treatment is that it's a lot faster. So if you think about outside radiation, it takes up to 2 to 3 months of radiation therapy, which they give you in dosages of small increments of time, no more than, let's say, 5 minutes of radiation. With Pam, the time that it would take for 3 months of radiation is reduced to about 7 days of radiation. So that's, and twice a day. So that's about 10 to 15 minutes maximum of radiation that you're being exposed to. Now, one of the reasons why I wanted to do this interview was because Pam began explaining a lot of things to me that happened. And I didn't know what radiation was or how severe radiation could be. And Pam explained to me whenever she would go in, you had the people who set you up. They did everything that you were going to need in order to get the radiation. Now, these people would then walk outside of the room where the irradiation was happening. But they not only went to a room outside of that room, they completely left that room as well to another room. So that's how intense radiation can be, and it has a lot of severe effects. And it definitely leaves you weak going through all of that. So, Pam, explain to me, when the doctor told you about your cancer and how it can spread, how did he make you understand it?
To start with, I actually had no symptoms. Slight, just, tenderness, but I actually had no symptoms. And but you can feel, and it's so hard to explain, but you can feel almost like something's wrong. Um, so I ended up going to the doctor for, of course, a breast exam. And then they asked for my husband and myself to be talked to. And as soon as you heard the word "you have breast cancer," I didn't hear anything. Thank goodness my husband was there, because I blocked out everything when you hear the word. So it's very, very hard. You think of how my how am I going to take care of my family? How am I going to leave them? It's very traumatic. Uh, After the initial shock, then you become a fighter. Uh, you feel like, okay, you're going to beat this somehow, some way. You're going to get through. The doctor explained about the program, which was fairly new at the time. It is called the mammal site, and it is a balloon that they insert, and it's after the radiation because they not only, like you said, go behind the glass, but actually leave the room and monitor you from a whole nother room. Twice a day for the 7 days it tires you. Radiation is very, very hard on your body. I was very tired, but I am a survivor, and I will keep fighting. He did say the cancer that I have and did have, I'm now cancer free, but the cancer I did have was kind of like a dandelion that gets that white stuff that the little kids can blow the and that's the kind of cancer that I had, that it could have spread throughout my body, and I never know, it could come back. My chances are, are there, but hopefully, and with God's help, I will be cancer free from this point on.
Definitely, hopefully, Pam. That's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. After speaking to you, I got to understand a lot more of not only not only what breast cancer is in general, but what a person goes through when they have something like that, and when that happens to you. When I was doing my research, I would explain it to people in a way that I was like, well, it's almost like you entered this lottery that you don't remember submitting any paperwork to, but all of a sudden you're the winner, and it's like, you read about the statistics, and I've never really liked statistics myself because I like to be an outlier. I like to be the other person. But when it's cases like this, it's just they say that 1 out of every 8 women will develop breast cancer in their lifetime. And when I thought about that, I was like, man, that's really scary because you put into perspective of all the women that you know, especially your mother and everyone around you, you're all like, they have this chance to get something detrimental to their body that has no cure. What you went through was a radically new test, and now you're a part of this legacy of women who had the strength to say, yes, I'm going to try this new treatment, and you were strong enough to say, I'm going to see it through, and you did, and that's amazing. And now you're a part of that case study where when I was explaining mammocyte radiation, one of the biggest things about it is that it's so young and it's barely in its infancy. They know that it has benefits. So Pam now is cancer free. What they want to see is if people who receive this kind of or this type of radiation, how long are they going to stay cancer free? Is it going to be forever? Can it come back? Or did it do a well enough job to isolate the infected area where it's going to be a better and safer solution for people with cancer? All of that is still unknown. Outside radiation therapy has been studied for almost 30 years. And in those cases, you know that breast cancer can come back because they have multiple and thousands of cases where it has come back. And the scary thing about that is that once you've had radiation in a specific part of your body, you cannot have radiation on that specific part of your body again. And it hurts you. It hurts you. It leaves you damaged for a very long time. Pam was telling me about one of her friends who did the outside radiation and how tender and everything was afterwards.
Yeah, because radiation almost is some kind of like a burn. That they can blister and can burn. So that was my choice of taking a risk and trying the new mammal site, therapy and trying it. So, and I'm glad I did. To feel tired for a week or two is so well worth, trying the new mammal site therapy.
Yeah, that's amazing. Well, I'm so glad you had the courage to do that, Pam. That was awesome. And I want to dedicate the video today to a very amazing individual who I had the pleasure of meeting and who really helped me out a lot. He taught me a lot. He was a great person, had a wonderful sense of humor. His laugh was infectious. And he had one of the deepest voices I think I've ever heard, ever. But the person I'm talking about is Don Efrain. That was Pam's husband, who really, when people talk about love, you can talk about it, you can say all the sweetest things in the world, but actions speak louder than words. And Don stood by Pam in her hardest time, and he was rewarded for it because he got to keep his wife. Unfortunately, Don was diagnosed with lung cancer.
Small cell lung cancer.
Small cell lung cancer. And he had to go through his own battle and his own journey. And unfortunately, he didn't win that battle. He didn't survive the battle. But to see the love between two people where they can help each other out in those kind of times, it's very inspiring, Pam. It was amazing. And I remember whenever we went to your house, it was really cool. He's taught me a lot. And at the time when I first met you, I didn't know Don had cancer. He was just the happiest person. He was always helping out. He was teaching me a lot. And I was like, you don't run into people like that every day. It was amazing. But he was an awesome person. So rest in peace, Don. This video was due in part to you. I want to encourage everyone watching this video to please donate. I'm going to put a link on the YouTube post and the Facebook post for today. If you can donate today, anything helps, and it's going to help to... The way I think about it is that eventually I'm going to have kids, and if, let's say I have daughters, and even men can get breast cancer, but you can develop any kind of different cancer, and the different branches of cancer can help aid another type of cancer. That research is all going to kind of eliminate this thing that we really have no grasp of yet. But I don't want my children to grow up in a world where there is no cure for a certain illness. And also, as my mother gets older, she is getting into that category of people who can develop cancer. She has a bigger chance of developing breast cancer. Everyone who, as the more you age, the more susceptible you are at developing cancer. So maintain healthy, always do right, and live life to the fullest, because that's one of the things Pam was talking to me about, is being grateful for every day and what you have. So thank you so much for watching. Once again, this is Pam, and thank you, Pam. This is amazing.
Thank
that was
you.
Awesome. Give you a hug, Pam. Thank you so much.
All right, thanks.
And thank you for watching. Please donate if you can today.